we put this thing somewhere on the actual web? What if we could just host it right from our GitHub repository? What if GitHub had a service called GitHub Pages? Holy smokes, pages.github.com. Well, wonders never cease. There is such a thing. So let's look at how we could do that. It's really easy. If anything, this might make it sound even a tiny bit harder than it actually is. All you have to do is have a branch on your repository named gh-pages containing whatever it is that you want to be served. So for a simple static site like this, that couldn't be easier. So let's try it out real quick. I'm going to go to my Jefferfescence directory. I'm on my master branch right now, as my command prompt tells me. I'm going to write git checkout -b for branch gh-pages. And that creates a new branch. If we think of our code as a series of commits like that, then all of a sudden we have a little fork coming off here for this other branch. And we can continue to add commits over here without necessarily adding them back on master, and vice versa. And if they need to get in sync again later, we can merge one into the other. But I'm not creating a new branch from the beginning, right? I am branching off from the last commit of whatever branch I was on when I ran checkout. If we were to run git push right now, it'll tell us that there is no remote branch, but it'll also tell us exactly what command we need to run. And that'll create a branch called gh-pages on GitHub. And from now on, if we're on the gh-pages branch, git push will just sync with the right one. If I want to go back to master now, git checkout master. The -b was because it was a new branch. So now I'm back on master, git checkout gh-pages. Now I'm back on gh-pages. If I go out and look at my repository, there's a branch pull down here. And now I have one named gh-pages. We see that that is in fact there. So where's this hosted? As the GitHub Pages instructions here will tell us, it's at your username .github.io, not com, your username.github.io / the name of your repository. Behold. And it should just work. Notice whatever you had in your local storage on your machine isn't there anymore because local storage is scoped by host. Oh, something didn't work right. Server responded with the status of 404. At what point? There we go. That's better. Refresh. And that works.
So why do we make a new branch for this?
Because that's how GitHub Pages works. That's the long and short of it. GitHub Pages is GitHub's hosting service. You asked why do we create a new branch?
Yeah.
So sometimes, well, just as a general practice, your master, well, different organizations do it different way, but whatever your production build is, whatever's actually stable and deployed should be on a different branch from what you're actually developing on. Now, oftentimes master will be what's in production, and you'll make new branches for development. But the way GitHub Pages works is you create a new branch that's just for that. That way, it has its own remote that it syncs with. So even if the main repository were somewhere else and you had other remotes, you would have that one GH Pages that syncs with this GitHub repository and that branch. It just separates it from anything else you would need. Yeah, Gabby? It is your username, wherever it is. What the heck is it? Oh, this is, well, so mine automatically transformed. It's your username.github.io / the name of the repository. Okay, so the paths could be a little messed up. Talk about that in a sec. So what you synced with that repository, keep in mind, is only what was in that project folder. If your icons were outside of that, or if you used a root relative path, that could break it. What I mean is if you, well, you probably didn't do that. So we'll look at that in a minute. Kai, what did you?
When you did like git push and then set upstream origins, that just making it so you could push to that branch.
Yes. So it wasn't set to sync any particular branch yet. So I couldn't just say git push. So I could say git push origin GH Pages, and that would push it there. And the -- set upstream is the same thing as -u, which just tells it track this branch from now on.
So wait, so if you didn't do that and you just did like git push, would it just go to master?
It wouldn't do anything. It will not let you do that. Your remote branch settings are per branch, per local branch. So when you switch to a new branch, git push and git pull will not do anything until you.
But they each have like their own branch switches, so they don't all change to one.
So if we'd actually look at this real quick, there's a git config file that's hidden in your stuff. If you look at what that looks like, you see we have a remote here, origin. Here's the URL. That's one of the things we copy and paste from GitHub, git remote add origin. So that tells us what the remote is. And then for each branch, we specify the remote, and we tell it which branch on that remote this particular branch should sync with. It doesn't have to have the same name. Ours do, and that's awfully convenient if they do, but they wouldn't have to. And you could just manually actually say git push origin GH Pages right from master. It's just you'd have to do that every time. You'd have to be explicit about it. So that gets the darn thing online.